What's going on, guys? Diamond here, and just before this video starts, I do kind of want to address something. So I have been trying to mess with my mic settings to try and make them sound a little bit better and a little bit more high quality. However, that did not go as planned. The video that you're about to watch, the mic quality kind of got cooked in the process of trying to get it to work. And if you were on my stream from the night before or the night of the update, then you could clearly tell that something was not right with my microphone settings. So I am very sorry about this, and I hope you all enjoy. Ciao. We just got a brand new update in Roblox Fix It Up, and I'm going to be covering everything there is from the brand new cars, from the auctions car, and the brand new paint codes. Let's go ahead and get into this, and make sure you join the Discord to stay updated whenever I post. Alright, so you might be wondering, Diamond, what's in this brand new update, you may ask? So we have update 3.3.0. We have some bug fixes as well as some brand new content, such as fixed mobile UI, 3 new junkyard cars. They have an updated auctions car paint materials, new rotary i5 V8 textures. There is now a confirmation before buying gold and a whole bunch of other stuff like the remodels for the BMW K140 and the Audi R8 Performance, as well as some other bug fixes. So let's go ahead and actually look at all the brand new junkyard cars before we actually dip into the auctions. Alright, so going over the very first car, we have the Rhenus Suino, or Suno? I have no idea, but the real name for this is actually the Renault Twingo. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, shall we? So obviously looking at the front here, we have a very, very happy car. Look at that little face, man. Exterior wise, you know, it's kind of simple. Just kind of looks like a simple SUV you'd see like in the EU or something like that. Taillights, nothing too crazy. I mean, this car does in fact spawn at a 25% chance, and you can buy one of these from the junkyard for 1,500 to 5K. So nothing too crazy. I will say this thing is kind of cool looking, and I do like that it is actually textured. So rare W right there from the devs. So opening this thing up, we actually got a inline 4 1.9 diesel. Obviously we are going to be changing that, but let's see. This thing actually kind of scoots. Oh, look, there's one right there actually. So let's go ahead and head over here to the repair shop, or not the repair shop, the parts shop. And let's go ahead and take a look at all the new engine remodels. So let's see. So the first one was the rotary. So looking at the engine block, we have a nice new red and black two-tone here. Very cool looking, I will have to say. I do like that. We do now have a turbo for it. So the turbo is now on the rotary. Amazing. I do love that this mesh, and especially how they did it. You can even see the textured welds there. Up here we have the exhaust manifolds. You have what seems to be the spark plugs, and I guess that's the alternator or whatever. I have no idea. The next engine was actually the inline 5 2.5. So looking at it, it doesn't seem like anything too crazy. I love the alternator right there. That's just kind of sitting. As for the pistons, doesn't look like anything too crazy. The intake is pretty nicely done, unless this is the intake. I have actually no idea. Not a bad looking engine. But now we come over to the big boys. So the 4.2, they redid everything about this, from the headers to the timing chain to the intake. The timing chain actually looks realistic now, and you can actually see what's a pulley and what isn't. The intake looks really realistic. I actually love that, especially with kind of like how the worn down texture it has. Same for the headers here. It makes you look like you're putting like a big block Chevy engine into your vehicle. But looking down here, we have the headers, which have this really cool aluminum color. And then the big block. Holy, bro, this thing is beefy. Then love the alternator and the oil filter just kind of sitting right here. Amazing, dude. Now, looking at the 4.0 V8s, looking over here at the headers, they do have this little carbon fiber touch, which is amazing. Spark plugs haven't really changed. The block itself looks really cool now. Then you have this kind of bronzes color on the heads here, the exhaust manifold, And then right here, you have the intake, which again looks amazing. It looks worn down. And then I'm pretty sure for the 4.0, they also redid the turbo and everything. That's amazing. Look, so that goes for all of the engines. However, we are obviously going to be using a 3.8. And while we're doing that, we are also going to go ahead and use a 7-speed DCT. So let's go ahead and get this old car engine out. And where's that transmission? I know it's somewhere. What the heck? It's right there. Okay, that's kind of weird. All right, and let's install this. Amazing, dude. And now let's go get the fitment for this thing. Actually, you know what? No, let's go ahead and go color this thing. Why not? Ooh. I do like that it's front wheel drive. This thing kind of scoots, I'm not even gonna lie. So I think for the new paint things, the paint types, I think for this car, we'll do a shiny. Cheap car, cheap paint type. And then we'll do a, you know what, we'll make it green. Why not? Oh, that looks cool. Kind of looks like a lime. He looks so happy though. All right, and let's head over here to the tuner and let's slap a tune on this little guy. Also, if you wanted to know what the max speed is stock for this car, it is 95 miles per hour. I kid you not, this actually took about like 2 minutes just to get here. That's how slow this little guy is. But hopefully we tune him up and this thing is going to become an absolute beast. But anyways, let's get to tuning, shall we? I did it. All right, so as you can see, the dyno has given us 1274 and 1235. This little guy is powerful. However, we do not know how fast he is. So let's figure out how fast he is real quick. Let's see if we have upped the speed limit. I'm hoping for at least 150. All right, let's figure this out. We have anti-lag. That's good. Oh, 138. All right, well, that was short-lived. Let's see if we can up the speed limit. Honestly, let's just set this thing at 100 and see what it does. As we keep getting 139, I hope we can at least get a 150. Nope, we got a 118. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, well, we have taken flight. All right, so you know what, we'll leave this at like 83, but this is the tune that I am using for this little guy, and it makes pretty much the max tune that you can get for the 3.8. All right, and let's see here. What is our little fit? Let's see. So it's looking like we are using 16-inch tires. Where'd it go? Where'd our tire go? Our tire just disappeared on us. That's strange. Yeah, our tire just disappeared on us. Oh, wow. Okay. This is like, what, 260, maybe 20? So rather unfortunate that our tire has disappeared. So let's see, 260, 16, and we'll just say 25. All right, and now that we somewhat have the fitment for this, let's go ahead and head over to the tire shop and let's get these tires put on. All right, now that we finally got this here, let's have those off. Let's go ahead and pick out our rims. Now, I don't know why, but I feel like being kind of basic, and we're gonna run these. All right, now that we got these installed, let's go ahead and put them onto the vehicle. It's not the craziest fitment that I've done before, but honestly, I like it. So let's see, 260, 20, well, 25. And all right, let's see if we can do any drag strip runs with this. This little guy seems so happy and ready to just do this. All right, let's see how she does. 541. I feel like if we can figure out the better speed limiter, I feel like it can be a lot faster. Let's do one more and then let's head over to the track and see how stable she is. 538. All right, definitely a sub 5 car right now, but let's go ahead and head over to the circuit and see how good she is. All right, now that we're here, let's go ahead and put her into auto and let's find out. This thing corners like crazy. Holy, bro. The turning radius is god awful, but can't complain too much. This car's kind of fun, I'm not even gonna lie. The radius on it, whenever you're not accelerating, is very, very accurate, and it does corner really well. However, when you are in that gas, it just does not want to go anywhere. But let's go ahead and head over to the next car, shall we? All right, so the next car that we have is the Peugeot 258 F5, or better yet, as the Peugeot, I have no idea, 208 R5. So obviously looking at this car, let's see, it comes with a inline-4 1.9 diesel, garbage. But looking on the outside, car actually looks really sporty. I'm not even gonna lie. I think this is more so on the rally car side of things. I'm excited to see what drivetrain this car has. Looking on the interior, you know, we have this rally piecings right here, the steering wheel and everything. It's not too meshed, but you can kind of see the concept of what they were trying to work with here. It's definitely gutted, and I actually kind of like this. This car looks really cool. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and head over back to the part shop, and let's go ahead and buy our 3.8 V6 and install that, and let's get this installed. And since we have one in here, we'll take this 7-speed DCT out and we'll install it. All right, as for the paint, I'm thinking of kind of like a blue, but instead of using shiny this time, we're gonna go ahead and use matte. Ooh, I like that. It looks really cool. Oh, it's rear-wheel driving. Holy drift. This thing's kind of insane. Alright, let's see if we can get a max speed real quick. So 123 is looking to be our max. Okay, well, let's head over to the tuner and let's slap a tune on this thing. Alright, now that we're here, I want to see what drivetrain this has real quick, and let's go ahead and do the tune. It's all-wheel drive. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, well, now that we know the drivetrain, I kind of want to see if I can put some of these wheels on it, like these, for example. Do real quick, go ahead and get these tires off, and we'll go ahead and slap these on here. Looks a little bit better. All right, and let's get to tuning. All right, so doing some tuning, we finally got 1275 horsepower and 1233 foot-pounds of torque. And let's see exactly how fast this is before I show off the tunes. I want to see if we have to do any more modifications to it or not. And we hit the wall. All right, let's give it a test. 177. All right, not bad, not bad. All right, so this is the tune that I'm running for this car. It's 27 55 040 062, and yeah. All right, and let's head over to the strip and the track and see how good this car is. All right, now that we are finally here, let's see how that she runs. 484, nice. Dude, this thing's quick. This might actually beat the Yaris. It might come close to it. 466, holy dude, this thing's quick. 473, and we're stuck. That's one way to actually show the time. So it's looking like this car is easily a sub-4 car, and I'm sure if we had a better setup, it could be even faster. But let's go ahead and reset and head over to the circuit and see how well she handled. All right, now that we're here, let's kick her into auto and see how she goes. She is really quick. Like, it's actually insane how fast this car is. Holy spin out there. All right, we'll do one more lap. And we just completely lost it. It was going good though. So I will admit, this car is actually really amazing for both drag racing and the track use. Definitely see a lot of builds using this car in specific. But anyways, let's go ahead and head over to the final junkyard car and see how good it is. This one is called the Volkswagen Tourette, or the Volkswagen Touareg. Kind of interesting, but it came with a rotary, and honestly, it just kind of looks like your basic SUV. Nothing really too special about it, if I'm being honest. Exterior, there's nothing too crazy going on. I guess I could say I like the headlights and the taillights. Those taillights have like some pretty cool little lines right there, but that's about it. Interior actually looks somewhat detailed, but you can definitely tell that this was just like one of those random cars that they were like, yeah, we'll throw it in. But anyways, let's go ahead and do the setup. As much as I love rotaries, we're gonna take this out. Obviously, we're deleting these old parts. And let's buy our V6, our transmission, and our stuff to repair it. All right, and let's install it. Obviously, we'll come over here and paint it real quick. I think for this one, we will do the metallic, because why not? It actually looks really cool, not gonna lie. And let's head over here to the tuner and let's see what type of tune we can put on this thing. And funny enough, this actually has the highest max speed out of the 3 new junkyard cars at 145 miles per hour. All right, and let's go ahead and get it on here, and we're gonna see what drivetrain it has. Wow, I'm actually surprised. It has an all-wheel drivetrain. All right, interesting. So let's go ahead and get this off of the dyno, and let's go ahead and put a tune on it, shall we? All right, so this is the tune that I kind of have come up with. I've been kind of struggling with the torque, but it makes 1274 horsepower with 1213 8.89 foot-pounds of torque. Let's figure out how fast this car actually can go now. Doesn't feel crazy fast, but it's definitely decent. No shot. We got to 200 miles per hour in this thing? So 218 is our max. Nice. No, I'm actually a little surprised about that. Let's see if putting slicks on this will change anything. All right, now that we have some slicks, let's see. It's definitely a lot faster, but it's still kind of slow. Well, let's head over to the drag strip and see what our times are. All right, now that we're here, let's go ahead and line it up. I'm thinking that this is probably not going to touch a sub 4, but we'll see. All right, let's figure this out. .578 was definitely not expecting that. We'll do one more, but I don't think this is actually going to be like crazy fast. This is like Range Rover type speeds. 588, yeah, no, this thing is not that good. Not gonna lie, I don't even kind of want to even like take it to the circuit. So let's go ahead and move on to the auctions car, shall we? All right, it is time for the final car, and it is the McLaren P1 GTR. Honestly, I have never been so excited before about getting a car from the auctions than seeing this. So obviously, let's go ahead and get some looks at it. So we have the hood pins right here, amazing detail. We got the hood scoops, which honestly, hood scoops. Looking at that beautiful headlight with those projectors, absolutely amazing. Got the tow hook right here with a few of these pieces on the bumper. You got the spoiler, or not the spoiler, the door absolutely looks phenomenal. The only issue that we have on the exterior is the fact that the wing is bugged right now, but let's hope that they fix that soon. We have the twin pipe exhaust, taillights look phenomenal, and then if we look on the interior, not super detailed, but it still looks somewhat decent. And then if we go ahead and open her up, we have the frunk, and for some reason it came with a VTEC whenever I had pulled the engine or pulled the car. So obviously what we're gonna do is go and grab our 3.8 V6, and let's go ahead and slap this thing in there and make this into a beast. See, where's the transmission? It's right here on the side. That's kind of weird. Uh-oh, what the heck? Let's go ahead and, it's an 8 DCT. You know what, just for the fact that I kind of want the speed more, we'll keep it. Actually, you know what, never mind. We're gonna uninstall it and get a 7 DCT just because it's a lot more slimmer. All right, and let's install this. Absolutely beautiful car, dude. All right, let's head over to the paint shop and let's get this thing painted. So I actually want to reuse the hex that I use on my blue and Greenville, but it's not looking like I can do that. See, so we're going to use the aluminum paints, and I kind of want to get like a dark blue on this, something like that, maybe. Ooh, that is perfect. That actually represents my McLaren almost 1-to-1. Oh, that is pretty, dude. All right, let's head over to the tuner and let's slap a tune in this thing. All right, now that we're here, let's go ahead and put her onto the dyno and let's see what drivetrain she is. It's rear wheel drive. Okay, so that's actually going to be kind of interesting then. All right, now that we know what drivetrain she is, let's go ahead and get to tuning, shall we? All right, so this took a little longer than I expected, but we did it. So let's go ahead and give her a test to see what her top speed is. So 243 is what we got to. All right, nice. All right, and here is the tune. All right, and let's get the fitment for this. So it's looking like our fitment is going to be 19 to 80, pretty sure, and 30s. And just in case, we're also going to do 25s. And for the rears, we'll also do some 30s, but as 20s. All right, and let's head to the tire shop and get the fitment for this car. All right, let's figure out which rim do we want to go with. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to go with these. So let's go ahead and try these out, shall we? And then I'll also get some 20s just in case. As for the smaller ones, I think we're gonna run the wheels that we used on the Ferrari, just in case. And let's go ahead and try out our size 20 for the rear. Go ahead and get these off and let's install these. Wow, that actually fits perfectly. That's insane. All right, well, now that we know that that actually works, I guess we can use those. Let's see. Dude, this fitment looks beautiful. Definitely am proud of this. No clipping whatsoever. All right, let's head over to the drag strip and let's see how fast she is. All right, now that we're here, let's go ahead and see how fast she is. I'm hoping we can at least try to get a sub for her. .523, not bad. All right, let's do this again. 533. All right, we'll do one more and we'll go to the circuit. 511. All right, so I definitely believe that this car can in fact get a sub 4. It's just apparently we do not have the luck to do it tonight. So let's go ahead and head over to the circuit and let's see how well she handles. All right, now that we're here, let's go ahead and put her into auto and let's figure this out. Holy slide, bro. She is definitely not stable. Definitely not a stable car by any means, but man, does she look absolutely beautiful, dude. So in all honesty, when it comes to this update, I actually like it. It's really well done, and I like the new junkyard cars that we got, and including the auctions car. The McLaren is amazing, however, I do wish it was all-wheel drive, and I do hope that they fix the wing at some point, but for the cars that we got, they're pretty unique. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to join the Discord, and yeah, ciao.